It's just after Thanksgiving, and that means for her first time holding the title of First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden has revealed the theme and decor for the 2021 holiday season at the White House. And it looks really good. You know, if you're into wandering around shopping malls that seem to have had a lot more foot traffic in 1999, oh joy, it feels like I'm walking out of the side exit of the Cheesecake Factory. Oh look, that's the back of Santa's Village. We parked this way. Some people online have even expressed that Dr. Biden's less than cohesive holiday theme makes them miss the decked out Death Star nightmare that Melania Trump created back in 2018. And I'm kind of with them. I mean, it's pretty punk rock for a first lady to use stark angular pine trees in a cold white hallway, painted red to represent the civilian casualties caused by US airstrikes in Syria. Oh, that's not what she meant? That's just what it looks like in her soul? I am so sorry, Melania. I did not mean to project my overvalued art school education onto you. You know what? Let's just say that neither first lady really nailed the assignment in terms of creating an easy to understand theme or even just a welcome environment to walk through. Then again, as I look back, it seems that this is a tradition that most of the first ladies of Christmases past have sort of struggled with ever since it started in the 1960s. So today we'll be breaking down Biden's most bonkers baubles of the season, and then rating the holiday themes and decorations chosen by famous first ladies of the past in a unifying exercise that will show no matter how we celebrate the holidays, the government is tacky. So get ready for the most country, creepy, or colonial Christmas in a Married to the President holiday installment of Clip Breakdown. Hello television viewers, my name is Nick. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my channel for more holiday fun, all December long. I was pretty entertained when Melania Trump's blood trees were released to the press because I felt like it perfectly encapsulated the uncaring attitude of the Trump administration. And then in the age of the Biden administration, I am surprised to see that even our new First Lady's decor is pretty true to life in being a mixed bag of good and bad elements that don't always seem to fit together perfectly in my mind. Let's see if you can tell what I mean, but before we get into it, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see even more clip breakdowns on holiday news like this, but most importantly, if you're new to my channel, I would love to have you click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos. I upload 2 new ones every week. More on Patreon, and I have merch. Let's just cut to the news so that CNN can tell us what's up from the lawn of the White House itself.
Basically, it felt like maybe a more subdued White House holiday decoration than in years past. There will be no controversial red trees, let's put it that way. There's nothing in the decorations that's going to really cause a massive amount of conversation.
That might have been their plan over in the East Wing, but I think they overshot it because Dr. Jill Biden decorated with such a lack of cohesion and originality that now we're having a massive conversation about that, about the lack of story. They went with a choice so safe and easy that from the outside, it could almost be mistaken for not even trying. Like quitting beauty school to become a realtor, or getting an associate's degree. That's a joke, you Christmas crybabies, okay? Everybody is on an equally important path in life, and I would never judge you for your education, except for the sake of a punchline. You can't come to watch me tear apart the current president's wife's Christmas decor and not expect to get hit by some shrapnel every once in a while. What are the stats on this decorations bonanza?
This year, there are 41 Christmas trees, 25 wreaths, and 6,000 feet of ribbon.
Why does that part of the White House look like the hallway from the beginning of High School Musical 2? And they decorated it to look like a children's museum. Magical. Dr. Biden said, in order to symbolize the importance of racial equality, the color palette for our decorations was chosen by my husband's German Shepherd Major, who literally cannot see color. Although he does bark at black guys for some reason. I don't know why, but there's something that always bothers me about picture frames on a tree, like on a Christmas tree. It's like, that's too heavy. I don't like metal things in forest things. Like when Taylor Swift was always putting like chandeliers in the forest, I was like, don't do that. God didn't intend for that to be there.
10,000 ornaments. Some are photos of the first family, along with others from prior administrations.
CNN even reported that there was a small image of Donald and Melania on a branch in the back, which is fascinating because I didn't even know trees could get cancer. Even if this sort of style of Christmas speaks to you, I still feel like it's a little safe and simple for the White House. But then again, maybe they're just trying to keep it modest because we're coming out of a pandemic and they don't want to seem too jovial. Granted, but then explain this.
Decorated by First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, this year's theme was inspired by acts of kindness and experiences that lifted our spirits.
These Honey, I Shrunk the Kids Christmas cards are gonna get me on the naughty list real soon. Madam First Lady, we don't actually all need the large print menu at restaurants like Uncle Joe, so this is kind of overkill. Although, you know, seems like a cute project for the graphic design team in the print shop. I wanna meet the designer who was like, we're going to decorate the most beautiful tree and then put some tacky looking paper room dividers in front of it at weird angles. Because that's what she did. You're obstructing your own work, sis. So that was the library room, which reflects the gift of learning. There's also the Vermeil room, which reflects the gift of art. There's like Pantone colors and paintbrushes on the tree. It looks very 1990s Disney to me. Like, did you all in the 90s get that portrait done where you had like paint overalls on and you like had a paint bucket? Gives me that, you know, crafty. Every year with the Christmas decorations, there's a lot of symbolism alluding to personal elements from the president and the president wife's family. Let's get some of that tea right now.
She decided she wanted to hang stockings with her grandkids' names.
In the state dining room, stockings are hung by the fireplace. There are 6, one for each grandkid.
All right, we get it. Jill and Joe Biden are not accepting any more illegitimate grandchildren who come out of the woodwork. Unless, has no one told Jill Biden? Your son Hunter got a court-ordered DNA test last year that proved that not only do you have a 7th grandchild, but she's also about to collect back child support. You didn't ask Hunter why he needed an extra $2.5 million in his allowance this month? I just think it's so weird that he has confirmed that he has 7 biological grandchildren. He's like, the 6 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's it. Maybe little Navy Joan Roberts doesn't get a stocking because all of that money won't be supported by one of the $300 artisanal wire hooks that they're using to hang those up. Everything is made from an artisan in Massachusetts up in this piece. I'm like, that sounds really impressive until we all have Etsy, just saying. No, the reason why Navy's stocking is not hung by the chimney with care, Joe Biden has declared that he doesn't consider her to be a grandchild or part of his bloodline or his family, so that's nice. Even though she's literally no more or less related to you than any of your other grandkids, outside of the fact that she was product of an affair. Joe, is it really that hard to remember one more name at the family Christmas party? Granted, Navy Joan Roberts is like 3 names, and they all sound weird for a baby to have, but get it together, Grandpa. That's rude.
And of course, there's also the famous gingerbread White House, inspired this year by our nation's frontline workers who kept on running throughout the pandemic.
She even placed the final person in front of the gingerbread setting.
That's right, you better not gender that cookie, Mama. We will come for your I love that you can call any object that literally has no gender non-binary and it will make conservatives angry. Why do you have to have gender-neutral pronouns for cookies? Baby boy, when have Toll House chocolate chip cookies not been they, them? Because I ate them and they were good and their was so big. That's too far for me to say. That's too much for me to say about that frozen log of cookie dough in my freezer. Ride 'em, cowboy. Oh, chocolate chip. I'm just kidding. Cookies are the best part of Christmas. Cookies are the best part of Christmas. Next up, please have a creepy, quiet gaze at our town made of cookies and candy. I bet you the pastry chef was like, I really wanted to create a tribute to all of the frontline heroes who have dedicated their lives to protecting everybody in the community. But Jill Biden made me put a police station there too. So now I just call it a town, a regular town. And in order to make a subtle statement, all of their little buttercream guns are shaped like penises. You can read my blog post on gun control to know more about what that's supposed to mean, okay? Oh, in the green room, there are purple trees. I was like, ugh, okay. But it's to match the purple orchids, which are Joe Biden's favorite plants. The east wing is where this gingerbread house is, and I believe with this big tree that has all of the states on it. All right, my home state of New Hampshire is finally getting some time in the spotlight. I think the news is doing this to try and combat the alarming number of people who I've met personally that don't know New Hampshire is a United States of America state. Like, mama, that's where the presidential primaries are held. Did you just start watching season 1 of American Idol in 8th grade and then never expand your awareness beyond that? Oh, that's a sign that Santa doesn't like it when I judge you. That's Santa. Santa said it. Santa said it. Wait a minute. What is the source of those sleigh bells I hear off yonder? Could it be a word from our sponsor, Casetify? Here it comes. Whoa, ho, ho, ho. It's me, Santa Claus. Okay, don't run away. I'm acting as his surrogate, St. Nicholas. I did not have a lot of time to prepare a costume. But that doesn't mean Casetify isn't an amazing gift for the holidays. I am still going strong with all 4 of the Casetify cases I've been gifted before, and I fall more in love with them with every phone drop that doesn't crack my screen. Casetify's new Impact and Ultra Impact cases are made with 65% recycled or plant-based material. But where I notice the most value is the incredible drop protection. Casetify's Tech 2.0 technology offers drop protection of up to 9.8 feet for their Ultra Impact case, which are also wireless and 5G compatible. But before I knew about that technology, I was most drawn to the brand for their amazing and endless print designs. Whether you're a minimalist or a maximalist, they have got options for you, from curated prints to personalizable options like this one. I love how thin they are too. They don't take up any extra room in my pocket. Impact and Ultra Impact cases are 100% BPA free, 100% non-toxic and non-hazardous. Their cases feature Defensify, a special coating that actually kills 99% of bacteria and prevents other bacteria from sticking. Apple released the new iPhone 13, and it's really smart to protect that investment if you're getting it for the holidays or as a gift for anyone you know who owns a phone. Hello? Oh, you can go to casetify.com/Nick DiRamio today to get 15% off your new iPhone 13 case. Wow, St. Nicholas, that was super helpful. Thank you so much to telling us about Casetify. Now back to the video. Okay, enough of all of these decorations, okay? We all know what's most important is the tree under the decoration. And ever since 1966, it's been a tradition that the tree that will go in the blue room of the White House is brought up in a horse and carriage, and then the First Lady comes out to inspect it before unveiling that year's theme and decor just after Thanksgiving. Let's watch this sacred ritual that I feel really symbolizes our country's commitment to throwing a lot of effort into every little pageant we can think of, rather than just raising the federal minimum wage for the first time since 2007. You seem a little preoccupied by this event for children that you're doing. I know that the First Lady is not really a position of power, but I mean, like, why is this what we're watching on the news? Like, shut up. I hate this stupid country sometimes. Although one nice update that Jill Biden did was inviting Captain Mary Erin Harnell of the DC Army National Guard. Thank you for your service.
Look how beautiful this is.
How do you like the tree, Madam First Lady?
It's beautiful. It's magnificent, actually.
This just in a shocking twist of deliberation, Madam First Lady Dr. Jill Biden has just reclassified the tree from beautiful to magnificent. Details to follow on what this could mean for the exciting world of science behind trees that rot in your living room. The 18.5-foot Fraser fir tree hails from Peak Farms in Jefferson, is somewhere up here in California. I don't know. It won the National Christmas Tree Association's 2020 prize for Grand Champion Growers. You there, take this switch of pine and use it to clean out the little one's colon. It's a holiday tradition that my mother introduced us to after her brain started to soften from toxic wallpaper fumes. I hope that child knows it's lucky because this tree is famous. It just got done with an 18-city tour across the country. I'm not kidding. And I think that's more live shows than like Katy Perry has done since 2018. And if that's not true, it feels true, which is kind of even worse. The tree tour was pointed out to me by my friend Joe, who tweeted angrily at the Joshua Tree National Park, saying that hosting a tree for people to visit was dumb. But what my stupid idiot friend Joe doesn't know is that nothing is dumb as long as it stimulates the private sector. What would we do as a country without 24/7 visibility for all civilians on this giant tree's storied journey across our great land? Luckily, you can go to capitaltreetracker.com and, as they say, quote, using Fleet Locate by Spirion's advanced trailer management technology, technology. CapitolTreeTracker.com provides real-time GPS location tracking of the U.S. Capitol Christmas tree as it makes its way from the Six Rivers National Forest in California to the west lawn of the U.S. Capitol in Washington, D.C. Wow, thank you, the White House. You're truly making spirits bright for those particular manufacturers of GPS tracking equipment. God bless Fleet Locate by Spirion, brand that I love. From the mountains, singing trees now, and we cut down the tree, hang it up. And then after hundreds of volunteers dedicate their free time, since they're unemployed due to the pandemic, the true holiday magic comes together and everyone gets ready to finally unveil this very easy to understand theme. Aw, it was so nice of JoJo Siwa to donate one of those bows she used to wear, because it matches so perfectly with this theme. Gifts from the heart. Huh. So is it like the Obamas when they did the gifts of the holiday? But now I guess it's more of like an internal gift, yeah? To be honest, I don't know what either of those themes mean, but here's part of the joint statement explaining the idea from both President Biden and Dr. Jill Biden, the English teacher. The things we hold sacred unite us and transcend distance, time, and even the constraints of a pandemic. Faith, family, and friendship, a love of the arts, learning, and nature, gratitude, service, and community, unity, and peace. These are the gifts that tie together the heartstrings of our lives. Our heartstrings tie together our lives or our heart. I get that this is grammatically correct, and I guess after a careful reading, it starts to seem logical, but this is America, so it's a lot to ask of your citizens to be logical. You already lost half of us at reading. Mama, I read Mary Shelley's Frankenstein with more ease than that statement about your giant greeting cards. If people in America wanted to scan through a long web page of nothing but colons, they're not gonna do it on whitehouse.gov, okay? Because they'll be too busy going to my personal website, nothingbutcolons.com. That's nothingbutcolons.com. I had to fight to get that domain from a lot of like rectal imagery sites. To finish off this exploration of the First Lady Christmas trees and their themes that go along with them, I thought it would be helpful to compare Dr. Biden's decorations with some of the themes from the past to see if she's really far off from some of the ideas that have come before. So our first Christmas tree, as we said, is 1961 First Lady Jacqueline Kennedy, and she themed the decorations after the Nutcracker Ballet. And all of those ornaments were made by disabled volunteers and senior citizen craftspeople throughout the United States. So she really set the blueprint for like having a community outreach portion where other people could help us decorate the White House. But how come every single Christmas tree I've seen in a picture from before the 1980s looks like it's about to crash through a bedroom window and swallow up that little kid from the Poltergeist? Gnarled and misshapen. Even the trees had untreated mental illness back then. I rate this tree 7 out of 10 stumps, which is my rating scale for this project. In both 1965 and 1966, First Lady Claudia Lady Bird Johnson decorated the Blue Room with an American theme. The theme for both years was Early America, which, can I say, way to not be creative at all for 2 years in a row. It's refreshing to see that your decorating taste is not nearly as quirky as your nickname would imply. Lady Bird, it sounds like you just couldn't get the rights to call yourself Mother Goose. Let's see, all of this info is basically captured from whitehousehistory.org. So let's see, for Lady Bird's tree, it featured thousands of small traditional ornaments, nuts, fruit, popcorn, dried seed pods, gingerbread cookies, Santa Claus cookies, fun. I'm giving Lady Bird 5 out of 10 tree stumps for a lack of originality. I was gonna give her 4 stars, but she earned 1 back by including a lot of food on that tree and not buying new stuff every year. She recycled, but I just need to let everyone know, you need to keep those f***ing seed pods off of my White House Christmas tree forever. What even is that? It sounds like it could be full of spiders. A seed pod? Is that a pine cone? Cause then say pine cone. I'm trying to do more the movie White Christmas and less the movie Cocoon. Let's take a look at First Lady Patricia Nixon's 1969 American flower tree. This looks exactly like a product of the late 60s to me. It stood in the north entrance, and disabled workers in Florida made these silk or satin velvet balls representing the 50 state flowers. They reused these ornaments for the 1970 Blue Room tree. Also, what is the Blue Room anyway? Why does whitehousehistory.org talk about all of these rooms like I fucking fucking live there. Can you show me a map maybe? Give me an idea? I just know the Oval Office. That's not true. I also had heard about the Red Room because of 50 Shades of Grey. It's the presidential sex dungeon. Okay, I've also done a couple gigs there working as the cigarette girl when all of the anti-gay Republican leaders have their poker night. Nobody tips and they try to burn me with their cigarettes sometimes, but it's kind of worth it just to get an up-close look at some of those toupees and back alley hairlines. 0 out of 10 stars. This tree, no, not stars. Stars are for trees. Stumps, 0 out of 10 stumps. This tree sucks. Did they not even care about the garland placement? Did they not? And people of the 1970s, I ask you, did the funky colors and avocado green appliances feel like a trend to you, or did you think, this is timeless? 1975, First Lady Betty Ford selected the theme of an old-fashioned Christmas in America, also referenced as a Williamsburg Christmas. Quote, Colonial Williamsburg staff and volunteers contributed a majority of the nearly 3,000 ornaments, using materials such as dried flowers and fruit, acorns, pine cones, straw, and yarn. I think we get it. Colonial people stayed putting whatever weird they could find up on the tree. The Historical Society said, okay, and Madam First Lady, for a truly historical Christmas, we'll also need you to start in that chamber pot we put in the opposite corner. Okay, it also says, the Museum of American Folk Art lent the White House an assortment of old toys, dolls, cradles, and a train around the base of the tree. Yeah, I see that. And I think that's when I started to wonder if some of these first ladies have ever even heard one positive, loving comment from their mothers in their lifetime. Like Betty Ford, I made some great friends at your clinic. Surely you can find someone there to give you a hug. There's no need to put Annabelle and her even scarier girlfriends at a haunted tea party around the tree. Okay, that's wildly unapproachable. I give this tree 10 out of 10 stumps for its being intentionally creepy. I'm thinking of stealing this toys of a dead child laborer from the Industrial Revolution theme for my Halloween decor next year, because I just love the storyline. Here we have Nancy Reagan's official Blue Room tree from 1981, featuring animal ornaments made of tin, fabric, and wood. Those are from the Museum of American Folk Art in New York. This type of tree decoration looks very familiar to me, and how my parents always kind of had us decorating the tree growing up. I guess their aesthetics and tastes were inspired by the decades of pop culture they experienced before I was born, and not, as I had originally thought, from the movie Home Alone. In 1982, First Lady Nancy Reagan arranged for groups of teenagers who were involved in a drug treatment program called Second Genesis to make foil paper cones and snowflakes for the tree. I wonder if those kids were hanging ornaments like, we are all pawns in the war on drugs. Like, Mama, can you stop making handicrafts with the Christian pot-smoking teenagers that you think you saved? And maybe wake up to the fact that the AIDS epidemic has already started in America. In 1982, the disease was still known as GRID, gay-related immunodeficiency, which contributed to the stigma toward gay people in the country at the time. Ronald Reagan wouldn't even speak publicly about AIDS until 1985, by which time there had been 16,458 reported cases in this country, and 51% of the adults who caught it died, 59% of the children who caught it died. And on average, AIDS patients would die 15 months after being diagnosed. So, despite the years of organization and protest from the LGBTQ plus community leading up to that point, there was nothing done on a federal level from the government. Basically, no action was taken until straight people and children started getting sick. I say 0 out of 10 stumps. I don't even really like the movie Home Alone. How does a family that big not know anybody else in Pennsylvania who can go check on their son in an emergency? Like, it's Christmas. There are lots of people home. They're like, our neighbors are out of town. Call your friend who lives in the next town over. That's your son. Next up is 1989. This is First Lady Barbara Bush with her tree. She chose the theme of children's literacy for the Blue Room. She had the executive resident staff create 80s soft sculpture characters from popular storybooks. I feel like her staff was like, so Barbara, as the First Lady, you get to pick what the theme is for decorations this year. And she was like, okay, but it's gonna suck. Children's literacy for Christmas? Come on. I mean, was nobody in the White House like, hey, have any of you old ladies ever heard of Garfield? Let's give this kid something easy to understand at least. The Nutcracker made sense. Like, all of these abstract concepts are confusing even to the grown adults making the decorations, as we see. I do give this tree 7 out of 10 stumps though, because it looks like the one that was painted on my Nana's holiday china. It made this awful, awful sound when you scraped it with your knife. I was like, why would you eat off of this? Because it's Christmas? And I also love that in this picture, both Barbara and George H.W. Bush look like a recently dead couple who's been propped up for a final portrait. Now we're coming into the 90s. In 1990, again, First Lady Barbara Bush revived the Nutcracker theme from the 60s with little porcelain dancers in ballet slippers. And I think that's when the White House knew it was time to take Christmas away from Barbara Bush. Negative 10 tree stumps because this Toyland theme is forever creepy. Why did she paint mustache on those babies? Here's the president who should be familiar to most people. In 1993, Hillary Clinton chose the theme Year of the American Craft and invited artisans to make their works of art from fiber, ceramics, glass, metal, and wood. And that's pretty much what the end result looks like, doesn't it? I love the idea of including American crafters, but at some point, couldn't Hillary have sent out a letter being like, so we're good on the miniature felt stockings. I'm not sure if your Joann's Fabrics catalog has any other ideas you can dip into, but I didn't say the theme socks, but I give this 8 out of 10 stumps because I happen to love socks. Now, did any of those artisans wear the stockings around, like to the gym, and get them good and ripe before hanging them on the tree? Also, what time do walking tours begin? Just kidding about that. Let's jump forward to the next Bush presidency. In 2005, we have Laura Bush, her theme, all things bright and beautiful. The tree featured fresh white lilies, crystal garlands, and white lights, making First Lady Laura Bush here the first one to look like your aunt who married into the family. In her fancy guest room that the kids couldn't play in even though it had the softest carpet. You have a bunch of 5-year-olds in your house, okay? They could smear on your silk wallpaper. What are you gonna do, kick them out? 2 out of 10 stumps. The holidays are fun. Michelle Obama in 2009, her plan was simply to involve as many people as possible in the decorating. She asked 60 local community groups from around to help decorate the tree with 800 ornaments from the previous administrations along the theme Reflect, Rejoice, Renew. Why am I not surprised that Michelle Obama was the first and only First Lady to understand the assignment? Here's a concept we can work with. Reflect, Rejoice, Renew. It's simple, social, and timely while still representing the past. Why were some of these like, a Christmas tree theme? Typewriter models from the Civil War era through the 1940s. Like, no, Grandma, what even is that? Besides, people are into Seinfeld right now. I'm a Michelle Obama-ish. So I'm giving her 10 out of 10 stumps. Honorable mention to her 2010 tree theme, Simple Gifts, where the Blue Room tree was decorated with prize ribbons from state and county fairs from every state and territory across the country. That's cute and genius, and I get it when I read it. Michelle had a good team. I don't know who some of these other PR, like, I feel like some of these first ladies, when they get like the East Office staff, they're like, I'm gonna hire that lady who sold me greeting cards once on Etsy. Like, who are these marketers? No offense to you greeting card Etsy marketers and makers out there. I should just never say something specific because that specific person is gonna watch the video and get mad. Oh well. F you, Donald Trump, if you're watching. Speaking of the devil, in 2019, the theme was Spirit of America. So First Lady Melania Trump decorated the Blue Room with handmade flower ornaments, again representing every state, so not a new idea. And then she chose to build a big wall around it to try and protect it from outsiders, even though no one would want to go near it now. So yeah, you really did capture the spirit of America during the Trump presidency. 0 out of 10 Trump stumps. You dump. Of course, the year before that, 2018, was the year of the infamous American Treasures theme, celebrating, quote, the unique heritage of America. This was one that was supposed to shine with the spirit of patriotism, okay? Honestly, I'm just excited to see that the Licorice King from Candyland is getting excited about the holidays this year. It's usually kind of depressing for him, being made out of a candy that sucks. What in the White Witch's entryway is going on here? It looks like the end of War of the Worlds when there's like that alien mold leeching over everything. She's like, much sorry to the children we dropped tear gas on less than 24 hours ago. Merry Krampus. So as you can see, the history of the First Lady decorating the White House according to a theme has never been an exact science or fun thing to look at. Well, I mean, it's fun to look at in a mocking way, but not in a, oh, what a pleasant, elegant sight to behold type of way. So I don't know, maybe we need to step outside of this weird ass bubble we put ourselves in, First Ladies, and come up with something truly original and fun for the kids. It's Christmas, not the goddamn Historical Society for Colonial Toys, okay? What do you guys think? Which was your favorite tree that we looked at today? What theme would you pick for your First Lady decorations? Ooh, I would pick like juicy ass happy together. Yeah, let me know yours in the comments below. Also, give this video a big thumbs up if you want to see more holiday clip breakdowns like this season. Most importantly, click that subscribe button right over here. That way you never miss new videos from me. I upload 2 new ones every week, so turn on notifications and you'll always be the first to know when I have a Christmas American treasure for you. You guys are all the greatest. Thank you for decking the hallway with me. I will see you next time.